you to vote for change with a new Conservative government that will cut taxes, build homes, stop crime, and fix the budget to end inflation. That will end the Liberal experiment with free drugs and instead provide treatment to end the cycle of addiction and despair. Friends, it's time for change. So on Monday, let's vote for hope, for a change. Let's bring it home! Now, friends, please give a warm Saturday night welcome in Sudbury to the next MP, Jim Belanger!
Well, hello everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. It's so great to see you all here tonight, and it's so great to have our leader Pierre Poilievre here in Sudbury again. So everybody, I have an important question for you. After the lost Liberal decade, where costs and crime are up and our economy is down and under America's thumb, do the Liberals deserve a fourth term? Or is it time for change? Change to lower the cost of living. Change to build new homes younger Canadians can afford. Change to bring safety to our streets, good jobs, and powerful paychecks. Change with a new Conservative government that will axe the taxes, build homes, unleash our resources, stop crime, and bring home jobs to stand up to Trump in a position of strength. I own a small business, and throughout my career I've worked in a lot of different industries. But I can tell you one thing, there's only one party that has a plan to unlock our resources, unleash our economy, so we can bring back jobs and powerful paychecks for our people. Only one party and only one leader that will kill the entire carbon tax, that will repeal the Liberal anti-development laws that are holding our country back. That party is the Conservative Party, and that leader is Pierre Poilievre. On Monday, vote for the Conservative Party for a real change. Change to help our businesses and give the next generation hope for the future. So I encourage you all, bring a friend, a family member, a neighbor, and get out to vote so that we can deliver the change Sudbury and Sudbury East, Manitoulin, Nickel Belt needs and deserves. Let's bring it home. Go Blue, go! Okay, we've got a great person coming up here. Let's have a hand of applause for Dr. Ian Symington.
Thank you, Jim. Welcome, Gary. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for waiting for us and being here patiently. I love to see that crowd. That's phenomenal. I'm Ian Symington. I am your candidate here in the Sudbury riding, which is where we are. I'm asking for your vote because change can't wait. After the lost Liberal decade, we can't afford 4 more years of Canadians struggling to afford the basics of life. Buying food, home costs, fueling a car. There's no escaping the effects from the 3 terms of Liberal government. We feel the hit to our wallet every time we go to the grocery store, every time we fill up our cars or our trucks, every time we need to make a big purchase. We could see it in the signs of decline in our streets, the rise in crime and the visible signs of poverty, homelessness, and then unfortunately hopelessness. We can hear it in the voices of our young people who are not sure if they'll ever be able to afford a home or if they'll be able to raise their own family one day. Whatever happened to the promise of Canada? We can't afford a 4th Liberal term. We need a Conservative government, a new Conservative government that will change course fast, that will cut taxes, curb inflation, so you could keep more of what you make and your paycheck stretches more. We need a government that'll change the course on crime with common sense laws to get rid of the turnstile, arrest and release, same day, time and time again. We need a government that'll change course on housing, that'll cut red tape and taxes and make sure that our young people will have hope again to own a home one day. It's time for a change. I can see the signs. It's time for change. Canada needs to head in a different direction. And I know we need to head in a different direction, and I know just the man who can make that happen. And I want to help him, and Jim wants to help him, and Gary wants to help him make the changes for Canada. And you all want to help him make those changes. Pierre Poilievre is a friend. He's a true friend to Sudbury. We know that. He's been here 6 times at least. It's my pleasure to welcome Pierre Poilievre. And Anna.
Something tender about, there's something hidden about, there's something all generations can have and can hold. We break down the walls and break out of the mold, and we fight for what's right. We're wild and we're free from the mountains above us, and all you can see is more than just a place where freedom roams. It's our something brand new about. Yeah, you leave it.
Thank you. It's a Sudbury Saturday night. Who's voting for change? Who's voting for homes and food you can afford for change? Who's voting for safe streets for a change? Who's ready to vote to dig some mines for a change? Thank you very much, Doctor, for your kind introduction. We have anybody having a medical emergency, we have someone here who can help. A doctor. Actually, the first rally I came to with Ian, in the middle of my speech, he got up and left. I thought, what did I say? Jeez. I will. Thank you very much. We will be saving the country together. But so he gets up and leaves in the middle of my speech. I think, geez, this guy's rude. Find out his pager went off and he had to run back to the hospital to do a surgery. So he did the surgery and then he was back out door knocking the same day. So this is a guy who knows how to multitask and you know those moments when a new child is born and the child doesn't cry. And the parents are terrified, wondering if the baby is okay. Well, Ian is a doctor with a trick. When he welcomes a baby into the world as a doctor, and the baby does not cry, he picks the baby up and whispers something in its ear, and all of a sudden the child roars with the worst, most painful cry you can imagine. And the parents always ask, "Doctor, what did you whisper in my child's ear?" He said, "Well, I just told him that his share of the national debt was $90,000. It's also great to have Jim Bélanger here, a great businessman in the energy sector. Gary Keller from up in North Bay, our next member of parliament at Nipissing. And this is the team that's going to deliver change for Canada. Change we desperately need. Change so that you can afford food and homes. Change so you're safe in your street. Change so that we develop our own resources and bring home our jobs. A change that will allow our paychecks to grow faster than our cost of living. Nous sommes ici pour faire changement, un vrai changement, pour que la nourriture et le logement deviennent abordables, pour que nos rues deviennent sécuritaires, pour que nous exploitions nos ressources naturelles afin de se tenir debout contre Donald Trump et d'autres pays. Un vrai changement pour mettre le Canada d'abord. C'est ça le but. Because after the lost Liberal decade of rising crime and costs, we cannot afford a fourth Liberal term. We need a change. Today, I started my day in British Columbia. I met a man he's working 3 jobs, spends $5,000 a month on rent. He literally has no spare time. All he does is work to pay the rent. I met another man who lives in Toronto, was visiting out west. He has to leave his keys at the front door because the police department has advised Torontonians that it is dangerous to hide your keys anywhere that is not visible to a thief, because when they come to break into your house and take the keys, if they start rummaging around the house, they might harm you. So the safest thing to do is politely leave the keys where the thief can find them. And every time there's a creak in the house or a little bit of wind against the window, he wonders, did someone break in to steal my car? Yesterday, when I was walking down the aisle to enter into my rally in Nanaimo, I met 3 families in a walk of a few minutes who'd lost loved ones to drug overdoses. Every single day, I meet young couples in their 30s who believe they will never be able to afford to have kids because they have no home in which to raise them. My friends, it was not like this before the lost Liberal decade. But I will be very blunt. If the Liberals get a 4th term, not only will these terrible tragedies continue, they will worsen. Mark Carney, yes, I understand. Mark Carney has announced that not only will he keep all of Justin Trudeau's unaffordable inflationary spending, but his platform promises $130 billion of additional spending. If you add Trudeau's planned spending with Carney's promises, a 4th Liberal term would add $250 billion of inflationary debt that will drive up the cost of your food, your housing, and everything else you buy while threatening our economy. Furthermore, they will continue with exactly the same housing hell. The same policies that doubled housing costs over the last decade are the ones Mr. Carney wants to bring forward on steroids. $35 billion of additional housing bureaucracy. And you don't have to believe me that things will get worse if Liberals get reelected. Just listen to what their government said. Have you all read this report? Future Lives, Social Mobility in Question. Let's look at the section. It's called 2040, More Snakes Than Ladders. This report says that upward social mobility will be unheard of in Canada. Hardly anyone believes they can get a better life through hard work, and many believe they will fall behind. It says that Canada will be more like an aristocracy, with a small group of extremely wealthy people concentrating all the wealth, while everyone else is forced to pay exorbitant rent. The cost of living continues to rise to a point that the report warns that people will no longer be able to visit the grocery store. They will have to forage, hunt, and fish illegally on public lands in order to scrounge up a living. Now, if I had warned of that myself, you would all the media and the Liberals would have said, wow, what a dark imagining the Leader of the Opposition is putting forward. But this is not my warning. This is a warning of the Government of Canada, a government department predicting that this is the future on the current path we are on. My friends, this is not the path that we will choose. We cannot afford a fourth Liberal term. It is too costly, too dangerous. We need a change with a new Conservative government. Doctor, Gary, Jim, I have bad news for you. Your summer vacation is canceled. I have announced, as Prime Minister, I will put forward 100 days of urgent change. There will be 3 new laws. 3 new laws. We will pass the Affordability for a Change Act. We will pass the Safe Streets for a Change Act. We will pass the Bring Home Our Jobs for a Change Act, and we will not break for summer until every single one of these laws are passed, because change can't wait. The Affordability for a Change Act. I love you too, and I'm going to fight for you to bring the change that you deserve. We are going to save, and we're going to bring home the country that we knew and the country that we still love. The Affordability for a Change Act. We'll start by cutting $55 billion by cutting consultants, streamlining bureaucracy, getting rid of handouts to special interests, and bringing in a dollar-for-dollar law requiring we find $1 of savings for every new dollar of spending. The goal will be to bring down the Liberal deficit by 70% to lower inflation and interest rates. Second, we're going to make work pay again. Hard work should not be punished with high taxes after the lost Liberal. After the lost Liberal decade, you spend more on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. Income tax are the fine you pay for the crime of hard work. Enough. Conservatives will cut income taxes by 15% so that hard work pays off for a change. And then there is the Carney tax. Mark Carney wants to bring a new tax on automobiles powered by gas and diesel. Trucks like this one. Is this an electric? This is electric? No, it's not electric. Did you drive here from North Bay in your electric car, Gary? Not a chance. It ran out halfway here. Anybody drive up to Kappa's Casing in a Tesla? So Carney says that we should ban gas and diesel-powered cars, and any vehicles that go above the quota that they're going to start imposing next year will face a $20,000 per vehicle tax. This will kill 34,000 auto jobs in Canada, drive up the cost of living for rural and remote communities, especially in the north. My friends, As part of our 100 days of change, I will axe the Carney tax and put you back in the driver's seat. And then there's the carbon tax. We're going to axe the full carbon tax for everything, for everyone, for real, for a change. Mr. Carney was in Sioux the other day, and he was speaking to, I think it was Algoma, and he said that the carbon tax on steel is actually good for the steel industry. Higher taxes, they say, will make you richer. This tax will drive our industrial production out of Canada into the United States. So while the Americans hit us with tariffs, Carney wants to hit our industry with his own tariff. The carbon tax on steel, aluminum, mining. Anybody in mining around here? Yeah. It's a tax on fertilizer that you need to grow food, so therefore it is a tax on food. Carney's industrial carbon tax threatens our economy, will drive up the cost of living, and only the Conservatives will get rid of that tax. And by the way, they hid the tax from the pumps for 28 days, right before the election, after they imposed it for 7 years, during which time Carney said the tax should actually be raised. You cannot trust the Liberals with a fourth term. You cannot afford another Liberal carbon tax. Only Conservatives can be counted on to axe the entire tax for everyone, everywhere, for good, for a change. We're going to unleash an investment boom with a Canada First reinvestment tax cut. Zero capital gains tax when you reinvest your money here in Canada. Digging mines, building homes. In fact, we're going to cut taxes on work, investment, home building, and energy to bring back the $500 billion of investment the Liberals have driven south. Our plan will also make housing affordable again. We know that the number one cost going into new housing is government. It's not land, labor, or lumber. It's the taxes you pay and the bureaucrats that stand in the way that drive up the cost of housing in Canada. We will lead the charge by slashing the bureaucracy and axing taxes to build the homes. Within the first 100 days, a new Conservative government will axe the GST on new homes for a change. We will incentivize municipalities to speed up permits, free up land, and cut development charges to bring down their taxes by an additional $50,000 for a total of roughly $100,000 of tax savings on every newly built home. We will sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land to build over 300,000 new homes on federal land. We'll get 15% more permits out of the cities by using the carrot and stick of federal infrastructure money. All told, our Conservative plan will incentivize and cut taxes for the construction of 2.3 million new homes for a change in Canada. And then, we want change. We want change. And you're going to have more change in your pocket because we're going to have more powerful paychecks. The Bring Home Our Jobs for a Change Act will bring back our resource sector. We will repeal the anti-resource, anti-development Liberal law C-69. We'll get rid of the energy cap so that our oil and gas sector can produce more, and we will be drilling, we will be digging, we will be building. There will be more action, and more of the supplies for the resource sector will come from Sudbury. You are the infrastructure backbone of the mining sector. This is the economic hub that will feed the necessary inputs and equipment that will power the future Ring of Fire, which I pledge to approve within 6 months for a change. It's been 14 years they've been talking about the Ring of Fire. Not a single permit for a mine or even for the road to get there has been granted. Mark Carney's minister, Stephen Guilbeault, doesn't even think we should build any more roads. Carney wants to keep the same anti-development laws, C-69, the energy cap. He wants to continue to block our resource projects for radical environmental agendas that will do major damage to industrial and mining towns like Sudbury. Nous avons besoin de nos ressources pour devenir plus indépendants et souverains. M. Carney va garder en place les mêmes règles pour empêcher la construction, même avec des ministres anti-développement comme Stephen Guilbeault. Il est contre les autoroutes. Il faut que ça change. On ne peut pas payer le prix pour un 4e mandat. Il faut libérer nos entreprises et nos travailleurs pour exploiter nos ressources naturelles et redevenir un pays vraiment économiquement souverain pour faire changement. And we're going to build some roads. I know that you guys know how to build roads around here. You have great quarries. You've got Canadian pipelines. You guys want to be supplying some of the raw materials and some of the equipment for that as well. We need the big nickel like never before because we are going to be building like never before once this act comes into place. In fact, we're going to pass a law. It's called the Canada First Shovel-Ready Zones, where the permits are already granted. We draw a circle around an area, we do the environmental review, we figure out how we're going to protect the people and the environment, and then we pre-approve the permits with clear specifications and standards so the businesses can get digging, get building, get doing, and get paychecks into your pocket. That's how we're going to get it done. But we want you to bring home those paychecks to safe neighborhoods for a change, so we will stop the crime. Do you have any crime around here? Yeah. Crime, has it been getting better? No. Your son lost his best friend. In the bar. He was shot in a bar. Here in Sudbury? I'm very sorry to hear that. That is a very sad story, and unfortunately an increasingly common one. Everywhere I go now, I hear these stories of rampant crime, of people who are out on bail, parole, probation. He was on bail again. This story repays itself again and again. The good news is we actually don't have a lot of criminals in Canada. The bad news is they're extremely productive, or I should say destructive. The same 40 offenders in Vancouver had to be arrested 6,000 times. That means that each one of those offenders was arrested on average once every 2 days, and those were just the crimes for which they were caught. That does not include the many things they are not caught for. They basically have to be committing crime all day, every day. There's one guy in Penticton. His name is Levi. This guy does so much crime, the police tell me, that the crime rate for the entire city of Penticton goes up when Levi is out of prison. One guy. My friends, this is insanity. But it is the result of Liberal Bill C-75 that requires judges release offenders at the earliest opportunity under the least onerous conditions. And C-5, which allows repeat violent and sexual offenders to do their time in the comfort of their living room under something called house arrest. Or C-83 that allows Paul Bernardo out of maximum security penitentiary into a medium penitentiary. We cannot risk a fourth Liberal term of crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder. We need change. And our plan to bring that change within the first 100 days is to pass the Safe Streets for a Change Act. Here's the plan. We will repeal catch and release bail, C-75, gone. We will repeal C-5, house arrest, gone. We will repeal the Paul Bernardo get out of jail free card, gone. We will also bring in tougher laws. Anyone found guilty of 3 separate serious violent offenses will be ineligible for bail, parole, probation, or house arrest. They'll go to jail, and they'll stay there. They will stay there for at least 10 years, and after that time, they will only be released with a perfect record of behavior, clean drug tests, and by learning an employable skill. If they fail to do that, then they will not get out of jail ever. That is the plan to make our streets safe again. And when it comes to multiple murderers will be held to account. We're not going to give them bulk discounts. They're not going to serve just one 25-year sentence for all the murders they did. I will use the notwithstanding clause to lock these mass murderers up for life, for a change. We need change, and we will have change, my friends. Change is only a few days away. Are you going to get out and vote for change? Change to save the lives of our loved ones who are addicted. We will invest in treatment for 50,000 people to cleanse their bodies and heal their souls, to get off the drugs and get back to a good life. We will secure our borders to stop illegal drugs, guns, and stolen cars from moving back and forth. And we will pay for the 2,000 extra officers and the scanners and the watchtowers. We will pay for all of that by canceling the ridiculous multi-billion-dollar Liberal gun grab that... Make sure everybody knows, if the Liberals are re-elected, your hunting rifles will be banned. It's funny. They say that by 2040, people aren't going to be able to afford groceries, so they're going to have to go hunting and foraging. But they're going to ban your hunting rifle. So you better get pretty good at archery or a slingshot or something. Yeah, that's right. But we're not going to let them do any of that, are we? We're going to vote for a change on Monday. Vote for a change. You've got to get your friends and your family out to vote for that change. Change doesn't just happen. Politics is not a spectator sport. It's a participation sport. You have to get up to the front, mark that X, and you have to bring a friend and a family member to multiply your vote. How many of you are going to reach out to somebody you know who wants a change and drag them out to vote on Election Day? This is our country at stake. We're going to put Canada first for a change. We will rebuild our military with new icebreakers, new fighter aircraft, new Poseidons, new landing strips, and the first Arctic base in Canada since the Cold War, CFB Iqaluit. We will honor our legends and our heroes. We will no longer cancel our history. We will uphold the great traditions that made this country proud. We will never allow them to tear down our statues. We will build new statues. We will also... We will bring back a beautiful passport filled with Terry Fox and the Famous Five and our amazing soldiers. We will protect our veterans and make sure they are given the best services. Our young veterans will be backed up with new jobs and powerful paychecks. We will make this the freest country on earth, where you're free to speak your mind, tell your story, live your life, raise your family, own a home, afford good food. And if you want and you choose to, go and hunt for that food, but only on your own terms and in a way that is good for your family. Our purpose is to once again be a nation that restores the promise that it made to every single one of us. That hard work gets you a great life in a beautiful, affordable house, on a safe street, protected by brave troops, under a proud flag. C'est ça la promesse que le Canada a fait à moi et ma femme, que le travail fort nous donne une belle vie dans une maison abordable, sous notre fier drapeau, dans une grue sécuritaire. That is our purpose. We are not a nation of tax collectors and toll masters, of gatekeepers and grandees, of rulers and rule makers. No, we are a nation of artists and adventurers, entrepreneurs and explorers, workers and warriors, pioneers and patriots. What binds us together is the Canadian promise, the promise that each one of us can fulfill our full God-given potential, that with hard work we can achieve our dreams, that everyone gets a good life, that we protect our borders, honor our past, raise our flag, and stand up to put Canada first for a change. My friends, let's bring it home!